In today's video, we're going to learn how to create this urban landscape section in Photoshop. So first, we're going to import our profiles to SketchUp and make them 3D. So basically, we imported this from AutoCAD, and we make a square out of this and extrude them each in our own 3D path. This is a very simple process for anyone that knows SketchUp. You just have to create the paths and close them up and just extrude them in 3D. Second, we are going to export each section separately as a PDF file, right? So we want these sections to be in perspective mode because we want them to be, just in perspective mode. And we are going to export them separately as a PDF in a high quality size, right? Once we do this, remember to activate the to perspective section on, so the lines will be perpendicular. Then we are going to import these profiles to our Photoshop file. And by clicking the C tool on our keyboard, we are going to adjust our canvas. So, and we're also going to erase anything that we don't want in the image, right? So I'm just going to import the 4 sections and any other, cropped part. I'm just going to erase it with the eraser tool. I'm also going to erase the base profile lines because I don't really want these. I just want to show anything that is in the profile line, but not the base. Fourth, we are going to import our vegetation. So this is a very interesting step. So I have a very large library of vegetation from all kinds, from tropical vegetation to a more, cold style vegetation. Unfortunately, since this is a library I've been accumulating over the years, and not all of these images, are mine to share, right? So I would love to share them with you, but for copyright issues, I just can't do that. So I really recommend you guys just go to Google, go to GoBoTree, go to there are tons and tons of pages that offer free vegetation or paid vegetation on a very low price, and just save them on your folder, right? So this is just different vegetations, trees, palm trees, shrubs, bushes that I've just saved over the years. And yeah, I would love to share them with you, but unfortunately I can't. So what we're going to do is just import these textures into our Photoshop file. So first we're just going to create a grid, of all the texture, of all the vegetation, so we can see the different vegetation that we have. And later I'm going to import them into each profile. Since this is a video that is not very, it's not very specific on vegetation, I'm just going to be very random about it. But in your project, you should know each vegetation, what it does, and how you should organize it in your project, right? So just because I'm doing this like in a very random way doesn't mean you should do it as well. You should do it in a very organized way. There are different types of vegetation that work different for various climates. So I really recommend you study your vegetation before you just import it, right? So just don't import any random image. If you're really going to use palm trees in your image, then import the palm trees, etc., etc., etc. The sponsor of today's video is Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes in design, business, technology, and much more. Premium membership gives you unlimited access to high quality classes from experts working in their fields, so you can improve your skills unlock new opportunities, and do the work you love. Skillshare is also more affordable than most learning platforms out there. An annual subscription is less than $10 a month. And for this video, Skillshare hooked us up with a 2-month free trial for the first 500 people that click the link in the description. So once you click the link in the description, you will have 2 months for free, and you can take any class you want. So I personally recommend a class called Sketch Like an Architect, Step by Step from Lines to Perspective. It's by an architect based in Copenhagen. His name is David, and it's for all of you that want to improve your sketching skills, from buildings to vegetation to people, and it's a very, very awesome class. I really recommend you guys take it, and you let me know just what you think. Okay, so now we're going to adjust our tree size and put it in each section, in each profile. So before we imported a lot of trees. Now, since we have those trees and I've just dragged them over to the side so it doesn't distract us that much, I'm just going to start putting these trees inside of our profiles. Some of these trees are going to be repeated, and some are just going to be placed once. So the basic tools that we use here is just the copy tool, right? So when you press Alt and right click, and when you press Alt and left click on your mouse, it's automatically going to create a copy of the layer that you are on, right? Or you can also press Ctrl J to duplicate each layer. What I usually do is press Alt and left click, and this is just copies each tree in a very fast way, right? So I'm just going to copy them, and I'm going to size them down. So you want to adjust these different trees, shrubs, according to the perspective, right? So you can do this with Control T and by dragging each layer below the layer above. Now we're going to import our grass and concrete texture, right? So now we have all our trees. I'm just going to import a basic grass texture and also a basic concrete texture. You can download all of these from the internet, from Google. And by using the wand tool, you can press W on your keyboard. I'm just going to select inside, which places I want the grass to be and which places I want the concrete to be. Then by using a mask, I'm going to mask them out and just leave, and the only visible part is going to be the grass. I'm also going to do this with the concrete, right? So I'm just going to adjust it to the according perspective. And I am just going to mask everything out. So everything that I don't want to be seen, that is not like in the profile, in the model, you're just going to mask it out. And you're going to do this with each section, right? Since each section has different trees, it's going to look interesting. It's going to have different colors and lighting to it, right? So again, it's also, like with the trees, it's also very important to recognize which type of grass you want to have in your project. Right now I have a very basic grass, but it's just because it's, for the purpose of this video. But I really recommend, like, if for your project you have to have a tall grass, a short grass, you have to have some sort of grassland, that you draw it specifically, right? Because we don't want to make such a generic images without it having a lot of meaning, right? So we want to make images that go according to the context that our project is in. And again, like in the past few videos, the most important tool that we're using here is the mask tool, right? So remember, you can find the mask tool and hide everything that you don't want to be visible. And finally, we're going to group everything, all the trees, all the concrete textures and the grass texture, and we're going to put it in a folder, right? And to that folder, we're going to apply a mask layer, and with a soft 10% opacity brush, we're going to start masking out the background part of the whole image, so it looks like the perspective mode, like there's a little kind of fog coming into the image, and it has a very nice effect, right? And finally, to adjust these images, we're going to paint with our tree brushes. We're going to paint some trees in the background, right? This is just going to fill the image a little bit more. We're just going to add trees of different kinds, but it has to be like in 5% opacity, maybe 10%. So it's not that visible, but when you get a closer look, you understand what is going on. What is going on, right? You can also add some different birds with the birds, or you can Google birds PNG, and you can paste them on your file so it looks like there's a lot of biodiversity in your image. And finally, as always, we are going to add the text to our image, right? So no image is complete without some text, without saying which part, which section is this, where is it coming from. You can also add some scale to the image, and you can also add some people brushes. It really depends on you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.